the pyramid principle and the problems of modern physics too. In part 1, we said that modern physics has the same fundamental problems, and, as we can see from the principle of the pyramid, dark matter may be a product of error, caused by man's failure to properly understand the principle of how the universe moves. The universe operates not through the concentration of force, but through the dispersion of light. Which is the dispersion of force? Light spreads from bright to dark, never reflecting itself. Light spreads from the visible to the invisible. However, physicists claim that energy and matter exist within the invisible darkness. This theory contradicts the direction of light. Dark matter, along with dark energy, is believed to make up most of the universe. However, it does not emit light or absorb or reflect external light, so it can only be detected through gravity. Even with gamma rays and X-rays, dark matter cannot be seen, nor can it be seen in light or wavelengths. In fact, even many scientists around the world still do not understand what dark matter is. Scientists estimate that the universe is comprised of 73% dark energy and 23% dark matter, which are invisible. Dark matter refers to an unknown substance acting in the universe. Dark matter is believed to produce the gravitational force that binds galaxies together, while dark energy produces the anti-gravity that expands the universe. Newton's law of gravity suggests that stars' rotational speeds should decrease with distance from the galaxy's center. But this does not occur at all, suggesting the presence of dark matter. The fact that stars do not slow down, even outside the center of the galaxy, suggests the presence of dark matter. However, two aspects of the model pointed out by astronomer Donald Sari raise questions. One is the assumption that all stellar orbits are circular, and the other is a question about the stellar soup model. Briefly, the stellar soup model assumes that all stars orbit the galaxy in circular orbits, and that stars equidistant from the center orbit the galaxy at the same speed. By creating a model of the galaxy's motion, which assumes all stars are in circular orbits, the motion of stars can be neatly derived using Newton's and Kepler's laws. However, this model has a critical drawback. It fails to account for the many-body problem, one of the most challenging problems in physics, the chaos that arises when three or more celestial bodies interact. Furthermore, it is said that celestial bodies may not actually move in circular orbits. There are several problems with this theory. Not all stars orbit in circular orbits, but rather in elliptical, spiraling orbits. Therefore, comparing the stellar velocity calculated based on a circular orbit with the actual stellar velocity is inaccurate. Kepler argued that the law of areal velocities holds true because the Earth orbits the Sun in an elliptical orbit. This is evident in elliptical orbits. As the area of the elliptical orbit decreases, the star's speed increases. And as the area of the elliptical orbit increases, the star's speed decreases. Therefore, the star's speed is balanced. The important point here is that accelerated motion can occur in nature, even without gravity, due to the law of areal velocities. One example is the motion of ocean waves. Waves expand and contract using the surface of the ocean. For galaxies of a certain size to maintain their shape, inertial forces must be balanced. In other words, the overall shape must be maintained over time. This is how stars can avoid scattering or clumping toward the galactic center. The formation of a large galaxy requires stars floating in a space of balanced inertial equilibrium. This is how gravity is formed. Orbital motion and even spiral motion are possible. Otherwise, stars would be ejected from the galaxy or driven toward its center. Galaxies accelerate and slow down waves, accelerating, according to Kepler's law of areal velocities. Physicists may have overlooked this motion, leading to the concept of dark matter. The pyramidal principle suggests that accelerated motion can occur without the force of matter, and this appears to stem from the dispersion of force or light. The problem of the theory of gravity and relativity. The theory of universal gravity or general relativity is a theory that explains gravity based on two-body motion. What can come out of here is a circle movement, a movement that pulls out of place, and a closed movement. Most of the theories that people create artificially take only what is advantageous and hide or exclude what is unfavorable. The fact that water flows down can show that time exists, and that water goes back up. It is impossible to go back to the past. Also, it is impossible to know the high and low in nature. If it's a two-body problem, the high and low are determined. But the three-body, four-body, and multi-body problem, it can be higher for some things but low for something else. In nature, there can never be a strong man. This is the same as what people can see God as a symbol of absolute omnipotence. But unlike what people think, God should be seen as a dispersion of power, or dispersion of light and non-physical being. Therefore, it seems that nature does not physically dominate through the concentration of power like humans, but changes through balance or harmony. Nature seems to have an endless cycle by harmonizing with space and matter through spontaneous harmony, rather than control of force. And this is due to arbitrary action. Because coming and going is free, the effect does not occur by a certain host, but each object and a living thing interacts on their own to achieve a new balance or harmony. It is to create a structure that is not spontaneously biased or imbalanced. This structure is easy to accept new energy and do circular motion, which is the original movement. Inertia is a linear movement that is difficult for continuous acceleration. It is necessary to convert from inertia to accelerated motion, and it is possible to do circular motion, which is a circular motion, and a spiral motion, which is an ascending motion, in the balance of inertia and acceleration motion, the balance of matter, time, and space. And this is due to arbitrary action. Because coming and going is free, the effect does not occur by a certain host, but each object and a living thing interacts on their own to achieve a new balance or harmony. It is to create a structure that is not spontaneously biased or imbalanced. This structure is easy to accept new energy and do circular motion, which is the original movement. Inertia is a linear movement that is difficult for continuous acceleration. It is necessary to convert from inertia to accelerated motion, and it is possible to do circular motion, which is a circular motion, and a spiral motion, which is an ascending motion, in the balance of inertia and acceleration motion. What you can think about here is that the way space moves is exponentially transformed. In other words, it is converted to a binary method. You can see that you can make a spiral motion in space by converting from a straight line to a square, and from a square to a cube. This can be said to be a balance between space and time by creating dimensions, while creating a voluntary harmony of materials. Voluntary harmony does not happen by itself but requires time and effort. It is completely different from what people think that space is given a constant, or dimension and moves according to it. This shows that the Earth's orbit or spiral motion is not caused by bending the space by the gravity of the object, but if the inertia is uniformly distributed for a certain period, it can be converted into rotational motion and converted into spiral motion while maintaining its shape. This can be said to be the principle of the Sun or the Earth's spiral motion, and it can be said that it is the way it moves. When matter is more than three bodies, countless multi-chain galaxies must form an inertial field, due to an even distribution of force that can maintain their form. If you look closely at the calculation formula of universal gravity, the forces of the two materials are showing a square distribution, and in this case, gravity is shown to occur. Physicists think of all gravity as simply a pulling force. For more information about this, please refer to the video Why Does the Earth Spiral Around the Sun? What is shown in nature or space is the balance of time. If you don't have a calm surface, it's a single-shot exercise. Once acceleration happens and then shutdown happens. This is the way people use it. However, in order to do continuous circulatory exercise, you need a field like a calm surface. And the intestine can be said to be an independent movement area that balances time and space. In order for things to move continuously, they must have their own unique calm surface. The action of space and time. Space is open, so matter floats and changes. Inertia is an irreversible state where time cannot go back to the past, because it prevents matter from going back, and it is difficult to predict the future, because we have to move forward to the unknown world from here. As energy and information are exhausted, energy and information are reinterpreted to charge new energy and information. True daily food means new and fresh food needed in the unknown world.